Right, let's speak a little bit more about that situation with Joseph Tsatsire, whom you've just seen there, head of water distribution in the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. So let's just go over, some of the statistics that we're getting, that you fixed over 5,000 leaks since you've made an effort a few months ago to resolve the situation. But what has been the difference, particularly if some residents say there are still a lot more leaks?
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Rightfully so, I think we have been experiencing a drought for the past 7 years or so. And there's been quite a number of interventions that we have been actually embarking upon to mitigate, the effects of drought. And among others, obviously, leak management has been part of our big intervention to ensure that, we reduce, the artificial loss of water as a result of it. Obviously, leaks are actually as a result of aging infrastructure. And as part of what we do on a maintenance basis, we actually do those repairs. But again, another cause of leaks, there is actually a chronic vandalism and stealing of anything metal from our infrastructure within the city. And to a greater extent, the area that has been actually been shown is part of our bulk reticulation system, where constantly air valves are actually stolen from people that actually use scrap metals. And we continue to actually react to those. And again, we actually invite communities to be part of the solution in actually trying to protect the assets and ensure that, we continue to provide water to our residents. And this is actually a bulk reticulation main that actually takes water from, the Kharif system to the western side of the city that has got plus or minus 500,000 people. And an operational decision to shut and repair that has to do with timing. And I think at an opportunity time, we'll actually do the necessary repair.
Mr. Tsatsire, you can say this is a pedestrian question, but I'll ask it anyway. In May, the Metro is at 13% just in terms of the availability of water. You say it's a matter of maintenance of infrastructure. Was then not the perfect time to ensure that you fix some of these leaks?
Obviously, fixing of leaks is ongoing. It's part of the maintenance regime of any infrastructure. On a day-to-day basis, we receive plus or minus, 100 leaks that are actually reported to us. And obviously, every water utility in the world, on a day-to-day basis, has to actually attend to leaks. And what is important is the turnaround time in terms of fixing those leaks and actually reduce, the artificial loss of water. But I think I should mention as well that as part of our intervention, since, for example, in actually mid-June, when we actually increased, our resources as well as augment our capacity, we have actually dealt with not just under 7,000 leaks. And obviously, we also reduced, the turnaround times from plus or minus 15 days to about 7 days. And as I mentioned earlier, the aspiration is to further reduce that to at least 3 days. And this way actually means any leak that is repaired, we should get to that leak in the next 3 days. And that's the aspiration. And obviously, we continue to resource the program and ensure that on a day-to-day basis, we react to this. But I think one of the chronic problems as well, which you need to mention, is the vandalism of infrastructure and assets of the municipality. And this is across the country becoming one of the chronic problems which continue to actually disrupt and cause intermittent supply in our distribution systems.
So the city was losing about 30% of its treated water, mainly through these leaks. As we mentioned, not all of them have been fixed, so the situation has not been entirely arrested. What is the long-term projection here? 1.5 million litres lost to a leak every month is an immense amount, particularly in times of drought.
To start with, the figures that are bandied around are very incorrect. If you talk of 1.5 million litres on a monthly basis, it's actually a river of water. And I think if you move around in the water, you'll never be able to see, such flood of water that is being mentioned.
So you're saying the water is not there to be lost, but if the dams were full, this is how much would be lost?
Come again, I did not hear the question.
Are you saying because of the drought, the water is not there, but if the dams were full, operating at capacity, this is how much would be lost?
Not necessarily. Obviously, I do admit that there is, losses in the system, but obviously the numbers that are actually being raised, obviously these are statistical numbers calculated, from what we call non-revenue water calculation. And this is a statistical calculation influenced by other inefficiencies, like your, meters that are not built correctly, and other, building inefficiencies. And obviously, as a result, it gives you, an indication of what is actually being lost. That's why probably the number of 30% or 40% is actually being said to be actually being leaking on a daily basis. But in actual fact, it is not. We have got, as we speak currently, we have got just under, I think, 1,600 backlogs for a week in terms of leaks that haven't been fixed. And obviously we have got teams currently that has been allocated those leaks, and we will be actually ensuring that by the end of the week we have actually attended to those leaks.
All right, it's a pity that I'm being told that we've run out of time. Mr. Tsatsire, Joseph Tsatsire, who is the head of water distribution in the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality, but hopefully we will speak again and talk about some more figures, what you're promising people that you do have and will have available for them at the end of the month.